What's going on, guys? It's Adam P, and welcome back. Nick Woltmade, Medical Day, of course. On the channel, as always, we check out and see if we can spot a new player on a medical day, and we are also going to do the shirt printing vlog all in one. Now, instead of going to the training ground and just stand outside like we normally do, why not switch it up? We're actually going to go on a Newcastle United Stadium tour, but go on a Newcastle United Stadium tour when your record-breaking brand new sign is also in the stadium at the same time, when Newcastle United does not want you to see him. Let's go inside and see if anyone or if we can actually spot him. And let's also see, as a fan, going on a stadium tour, is the stadium tour any different to what it would normally be like if you were to go on a regular day? Is it disruptive? Is it restricted? Is there any differences if you go there when, of course, you have a new player there and the club's making sure that people on the tour don't see that player? Bit interesting, but we're going to try it out. As we always do here on the channel, we're going to head inside Newcastle United's club shop now, and we are going to get ourselves Nick Woltmade on the back with a shirt number before he gets announced at Newcastle United. Record currently stands at 6-3. Jacob Ramsey has got us back on track after a bit of a losing streak. This time feels kind of obvious, to be honest. Chance to go 7-3 up has to be number 9. Surely this guy is getting the number 9 shirt. Your record-breaking signing, your brand new striker coming in. Now, my only perhaps maybe negative towards the number 9 is the fact that Johan Wissa has declared he wants 9, and I still think getting Johan Wissa this week is possible. So the player who wanted number 9 is not going to get number 9, and I stand by, and I would actually argue in Wissa's case. He mentions the fact that he really likes the African history at Newcastle United. Now, Demba Ba famously had 90 at Newcastle, and he was very good in 19. So surely in Wissa's case, he'd be happy at 19. He can continue the Demba Ba legacy and continue and make his own legacy in Newcastle United if he does join. And it's still a big if. I'm not going to bank this video on if Wissa comes in or not, because it's still likely he doesn't. So for me, number 9, nice and obvious. Please, for the love of God, let's make sure number 9 happens. But just before we go inside the club shop, if you guys are new around here, make sure to get down there, hit the subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoy the content, and of course, join the journey with the 45% who are already on that journey, so you don't miss out on any upcoming Newcastle United videos. And we shown this last time in the video, what these are posters you can buy for the room. Isak is number 3, and just look how many number 3s are left. You can sell that particular player. He's not getting sold well at the minute, and I actually really like the symbolism here. Bruno number 2 next to him also out, and Isak's all full. What does that tell you about those two players when you look at the differences? Limited stock, and when I mean limited, you're talking barely anything, but we do actually have some of the South Korean merchandise. You guys absolutely love that training top. I bought one online, and I would get a second one, to be fair, but I don't think deep down I need to. I'm probably only going to wear this in the house, but again, anyone that likes your South Korean merchandise, they do actually have some of it. By the time you're watching, it might be gone, but they do have some of it in the club shop. Just left the club shop, and we are now heading inside St James's Park for the half-1 stadium tour today. What are the chances I book the stadium tour when a brand new player's inside there? Truthfully, I was going to go on a stadium tour at some point, but it was one of them ones where I didn't know when I was going to go on the stadium tour, but I felt like today, since there is someone inside there, let's just try it. Look, we're going to be in there at the same time as the player. Let's find out, and let's see whether or not we actually spot Nick Woltmade with our own eyes. We're going to wear his top once we get inside. Typical fashion when a new player comes in, we've got the lovely Newcastle weather. Get used to it, Nick. You're going to see worse than it this year. But we're heading inside now, and we are legally going to sneak into St James's Park for one tour. But, of course, we are on the tour for multiple purposes today.
My name's Leon. My name's Hazza.
You've both just been waiting here at St James's Park, and you just caught the new signing going in. How long ago was that, by the way?
5 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago, so he's just got inside the stadium now. Yeah. I'll start off with the obvious questions. The pair of you, what do you think about Nick Woltmade?
I think he'll be a good signing for Newcastle. We need a striker up there, and Gordon's obviously going to rise. So I reckon he'll be a good signing for the next few games, especially Arsenal. So.
Yeah. What about you?
He's a perfect replacement. He's tall.
Well, don't like the fact as well. I hope he isn't a replacement for Wissa.
Yeah, well, Isak was good, so.
Oh, well, I'll ask you that question as well. You have the chance now. You let Isak go over the next couple of days.
I'm not bothered. If I get money for another player, I'll do it any day.
I'll take on
If Isak's not going to play, I might get money for someone that can't play any day.
Well, I feel like the obvious answer would be you only want players at Newcastle United who want to be at Newcastle United. So if you had the chance now, let's say it's a player like a Johan Wissa or someone else coming in over the next couple of days, sure you would take that, wouldn't you, and get the maximum amount of profit for Isak. But our final question being, of course, couple of matches so far, good performances, but only 1 point from the opening six. But I'll ask the question now, where do you think we'll finish this season?
I think we'll
Top
finish.
7.
Top 7?
Yeah. I think we'll get Champions League still.
Good man, you still think we'll get top 5?
I think we'll fight for the Champions League with Nick. But I think Aaron Ramsdale's a shot.
Okay.
If Aaron Ramsdale doesn't start, we'll get it.
Think? Alright, fair enough.
We're both solid enough. Alright.
But we'll play it all.
I'm not as small as Ryan is, but that. Just about. That sounds like.
Midweek match and it's say Bournemouth or something like that, it's usually a lot less, and those seats would be sold up to Newcastle fans sort of last minute. But normally for sort of the bigger teams at a weekend or bank holidays, it is pretty much sold out. Okay. Behind me is the East Stand. That was completed in the year 1972. It used to be our tallest. It is now our smallest stand, all right? And that will never be built on. The reason it will never be built on is there is a row of Grade 2 listed Georgian houses that sit behind that stand. If we were to build any higher on that stand, we would take away their right to light. So that is not going to happen. So that's the reason that cannot be built on. Yeah, that's fine. And it's not great. I say it's a bit bleak. If you spend 2 hours in here before a match, I could imagine it could be quite oppressive, but we've heard of a lot worse. Some of the dressing rooms are painted odd colours like yellows and blues and greens. The yellows and the blues and the greens are things like a calming colour. Yellow is a more vibrant colour, but yellow also messes with your eyesight. Mikel Arteta's still going to have a cold bum when he comes here to play. Do you think it'll make him whinge? Any more than your Yeah, so they still all get a cold bottom in the away side, I'm afraid, alright. So if on a match day you ever get to come and have a look, this is normally the Eddie if you ever sat down, the next one would be Jay, the next one would be Graham. Your front row is normally your physios and your doctors, your back row is normally your substitutes, and it would be emulated again on this side.
Newcastle United are clever, by the way. That is now the player officially going out after his medical, and I'll show you how they are clever, by the way, because they played a switcheroo. So that vehicle down there was the one he came in on. They used the second vehicle to get out. So quite clever from Newcastle United. You can see a bunch of lads here waiting to try and see the new player. So 2 vehicles, switcheroo, get one out, and just like that, the bamboozled any fans that are waiting here to try and meet the new signing.
My name's Louis, and very happy about the signing. He's a technical player.
Right.
That'd be good for him.
What do you think about Nick Woltmade?
At least we've got a striker. Very much.
It's brilliant. No shining at all. Good signing.
There we have it. That was a Newcastle United stadium tour. While we have a brand new siding doing these bits and bobs in the background. So what changes is there to the tour? So there were a couple of changes actually, and the first major one, and I don't know if it's related to the player being there, but the actual media suite rooms weren't available to go on the tour. The tour guy claimed that it was getting done out this week. I don't know if that's actually true or not. I haven't been in the stadium tour in about 4 years, to be honest, so I don't know in terms of the timings and what bits and bobs you do first, but that was probably the biggest change in the tour. You couldn't actually see the media area, you couldn't see the press area, you couldn't see anything to do with that. Other than that, most of the tour was the same, but it was quite, I would say it's quite controlled. We didn't have one tour guide there. It was basically 2 staff members, so one of them would probably be on the walkie-talkie or be making sure that the player doesn't end up bumping into the tour. So it's quite heavily controlled by Newcastle. And even despite how heavily controlled every single tour would have been today. You still see glimpses of the player, and I've had a tour before mine, or 2 tours before mine. Someone was able to actually see Nick Woltmade looking out at the Gallagher end. So it is possible to catch it, and that's what I tend to do today. Doesn't always work, but I feel like, why not? Let's just enjoy ourselves. And it's a bit different from just standing outside the training ground waiting for the player to come in that way. Let's spice it up a little bit. Let's go in there. And for me, I wanted to do a stadium tour anyway, so I decided to check it out today and actually just take in everything and be able to see what the new tour has to offer. And if by the way, you haven't been in the last 18 months, so definitely go back in, because the home training rooms have changed quite a lot. Eddie Howe's got new features in there. It's quite fascinating and really interesting to see up close what sort of things the coaching team and everyone with Eddie Howe involved has to do, because it has changed a bit. As for the new signing, Nick Woltmade, of course, he was inside St James's Park when I was doing the stadium tour today, and Newcastle was hush on it. You just seen at the end there, so they actually had a switcheroo with 2 different vans. So he went in the first carrier, and they actually switched up the carrier, for a different register plate, and then sussed out the fans that are waiting for him with the one waiting at the bottom. And then second one went in and then swapped out straight away. So Newcastle, even with the player just leaving, like, you doesn't even see the fans because of the gate in the way anyway. Even the player, when he's leaving, they made sure to try and keep fans far away from him as possible. And as captured from Keith Downey on the way in, and I've spoken to the couple of lads before as well, we can actually see gears close down, shutters go down. Gone are you talking the days of Tino Asbio, and gone are the days of saying Alan Shearer saying you got 15,000 fans waiting for Newcastle. Very secretive, don't want people to see stuff at all. And even though we all know he's signing for a football club, we all know what time you're going in, we all know what's going on, but Newcastle make sure as much as possible, and you've seen it on the tour as well, how secretive and how kind of on top Newcastle were, and especially after the last one as well, because Jacob Ramsey got leaked quite a lot. And while it did get leaked again today, because some people were able to capture pictures of Nick Woltmade on a different tour, Newcastle was certainly a lot better with it. Jacob Ramsey was just walking through last time, and everyone was getting photos and videos taken of the entire media duties that they're doing. So the club's certainly been a bit better with this one in the world, the last one. Hello, mate, right? Good, mate. But yeah, as I was saying before the tour, so it was really good. Honestly, it was a really good tour. I kind of went there for multiple different reasons, to actually kind of go in and just be able to see how things have changed in a couple of years. Well, it hasn't changed an awful lot, to be honest. It's just the changing rooms that's most, I guess, the most fascinating change I've personally seen. Just being able to kind of see Eddie Howe's mindset and be a bit more in there in the moment, just seeing how Newcastle United has been, how things have changed over the last few years. It is a pleasure to see how things have changed over the last few years, but certainly we want to see improvement. I think for me, I always kind of go upstairs and you see the trophy cabinet, and while our League Cup still is not in there, by the way, you want to be able to see Newcastle have loads of new pieces of memorabilia and loads of new stuff in there. You want to see Newcastle be able to really progress as a football club, which we do. We've already done, by the way. We're going to continue to do that. A couple of other changes as well. I actually think the amount of people on these stadium tours now is just crazy. There's a lot of tours on today. There's a lot of tours on during the week. They're always full. You're talking today, it's probably like 40, 50, 60. I don't know exactly how many people were there, but it was full basically. So I actually booked my ticket on quite late, and you're talking 1 or 2 tickets left for that. So they do sell out. A lot of people go on the tours. Newcastle makes a lot of money. And listen, I don't mind spending my money on the shirt. I don't mind spending my money on these stadium tours. Newcastle, of course, signs players and perform as well, which they do. So I don't mind doing that at all. But again, if anyone on a stadium tour, they sell out quick. So if you've got like a massive group, for example, you do need people quite well in advance. But other than that, I think in terms of the tour, so not an awful amount of differences, I would say, with a player being there. A bit more restricted and a bit more strict on the time. So, for example, if you're taking a photograph in level 7, they'll probably kick you out a couple minutes earlier than expected, because of the fact they'll want the player popping in and out when there's a tour ongoing. So it does seem to be a lot more strict, and but have a little bit disruptive maybe in the sense of a tour. So you want to make sure if you actually go on a tour, I know it's hard to do it in advance, but try not do it when a new player's in there. Obviously do it when the transfer window's closed, just in case you end up having your tour slightly disrupted by what's going on. But other than that, got nothing I need to say about the tour. It was great. I enjoyed it, and it was interesting being able to see all the bits and bobs in there. As for a couple of final things going away from this video, of course, going into the transfer news, so we have been linked to Davide Verrecci, Inter Milan midfielder. It was reported by Italian media sources that Newcastle were trying to get him now. Craig Hope has then came out and said that Newcastle had inquired earlier in the week when we weren't sure of what the intent of the injuries were towards Jordan and Tonali. So now that we have a bit more information on them, feels like perhaps Newcastle might not end up getting them in the end, but the fact that he is available potentially on a loan with an obligation to buy, maybe Newcastle might pivot a little bit and get a midfielder. And I think deep down, if you look at our transfer situation, I think that Liverpool games give you a brilliant example of the fact that Newcastle, while we have a good midfield, we have a bit bad luck like we did in that game. All of a sudden, that midfield could look rather small. So maybe one more midfielder in there helps us out. Striker's the big one. Johan Wissa. Hello. Obviously, Johan Wissa is missing the Sunderland game tomorrow, so he won't be in Newcastle in terms of football. He might be in Newcastle potentially as a brand new signing. So we'll see over the next couple of days how this one progresses. Brentford still keeping away from the team to the end of the transfer window. If Newcastle brings in Johan Wissa, by the way, we have actually spent more than £200 million in this window. So that tells us someone's going out the door, and Johan Wissa coming in would confirm the exit of Alexander Isak this summer. And while we don't know what's going to happen to him just yet, that's just the big question. Does Isak go over the next couple of days, and does a striker come over the next couple of days? I think all options are potentially possible. I think Newcastle could sell Isak and just have one striker. I actually think that could potentially happen. I think Newcastle could also keep Isak and almost punish the guy and not say anyone. I think on the flip side, Newcastle could bring Wissa in and then let Isak go. So I think what are the three scenarios will happen. Which one, I still don't know at this time, so we have to wait and see. But certainly not stopping any time soon. Eddie Howe made it clear in the press conference today we weren't done. He made it clear that we were still interested in players, and he made it clear that after the signing of Nick Woltmade, Newcastle was not done. So we are still having a look around. We'll see what happens. And of course, for me, probably and maybe transfer news video in the morning before the Leeds game, and then I'm heading down to Leeds. So make sure you stick around, stay updated, and I hope you enjoyed the video today. Something a bit different. Why not? Instead of just standing outside the training ground constantly, let's actually just do something else and see what can happen. So we'll take care, guys. Appreciate your watch. We'll take care, guys. Let me know your opinions down below, and we will see you all in the next one. You gotta be just got off the metro. You are talking less than 2 hours after I bought the shirt. I haven't even edited this video yet. You're talking the video you're watching now. I haven't even edited the bloody thing. And already it's being announced that Nick Woltmade is 27. So yeah, 6 and 4. Ugh. Now, to be honest, I wouldn't have got 27. I generally wouldn't have. I don't know what number I would have went for if I didn't back 9. I kind of wish that I went my gut because I knew Wissa wanted 9. And now when you look at Wissa, there's even breaking news of him. So be a £45 million bid from Brentford. That opens up Johan Wissa. This weekend, Newcastle United will get Johan Wissa if Brentford can pull this deal off. So you're talking really positive news at this football club. Wissa's going to get 9. It will be Wissa that gets 9. If he does join, I kind of knew that, but I just didn't know what number Woltmade would have been. Could have been maybe 19. I think there's a couple more numbers in there. I actually generally think that's a hard one to predict. 27 is just like one of them weird numbers. Obviously, that used to be Stephen Taylor's number back 15 years ago. Oh, well, Alanga 14, Woltmade 9 shirts are just going to be chilling around the house. I'm going to have a 411 of the bloody wrong numbers at this rate. But yeah, I'm happy anyway. Got to sign them. We're going to get some more signings done. I'm a happy man, even though we've just splashed £140 on a shirt. That is completely incorrect. So let's head back home now. We're going to enjoy the rest of our day. Just got back in the house now. The wall of shame in terms of football shirts. There are 4 incorrect shirts up there. It's not looking too well over here. But what is looking well, that straight away, the fact he is 27 tells me and tells you, Johan Wissa, come here. Strand Larsen, come here. And the reason why I say both of them is because both players are missing their matches tomorrow. Believe it or not, Larsen is set to miss out the Everton game, and Johan Wissa is set to miss out the Sunderland game. 2 different players at 2 different Premier League clubs are actually missing their games more because both of them hope that Newcastle actually picks them. I mean, how astonishing is that, by the way? Went from not getting any striker to now both strikers actually hoping Newcastle picks them. Truly astonishing. We went from the undateables to they were bloody Hasselhoff all of a sudden. But now everyone wants to date us. So we're looking good here. 2 strikers there want to be at Newcastle. Wolves one seems now impossible at this moment in time. Johan Wissa, though, especially with Brentford actually trying to sign Maximilian Biel from Dortmund. That one looks on. Johan Wissa looks on. He seems to be the more keen of the two, but astonishingly, both players want to be here, and both teams are actually now missing their strikers this weekend because I've never quite seen a transfer saga like this. We're not going to get both of them, obviously we aren't. Both of them are going to cost serious money. One will come in and you got an option now of which one you want. I think Newcastle will go with Wissa. Wissa seems realistic, and Wissa is a player that has really wanted to come here. Why not? Having the best behaviour, whereas Strand Larsen seems to be happy with Wolves. So interesting one. That's interesting though. I couldn't believe both players are missing their matches tomorrow. So we'll finish the video off. I don't mind getting these wrong. I would rather the player come in. I can get all these shirts wrong, and I'll continue to throw money at PSR, and I will throw money at Newcastle United. Get these shirt numbers wrong if it means these players come in. I don't mind it at all. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, and we'll see you all tomorrow for the Leeds match.